is live from the former colony of the Islamic Empire, España, liberated by the Christian Crusades. The reason we're doing this is not a news report. This is an editorial piece by myself, the founder of Tousi TV. The reason I say this, the reason I decided to do this, obviously, some of you know, we're currently in Spain. I'm supposed to be taking a break, but I can't take a break because every time I try to do that, something comes up. I've been in Spain for a day, well, for the last 24 hours, and I'm speaking to some local people here. They've been saying the exact same thing. That please let the people in the world know that people in Spain, a lot of people in Spain, are angry at the government. The socialist government of Spain does not represent people in Spain. The anti-Jewish or pro-Hamas do not represent ordinary people in Spain. The reason I say this, I thought this, I was having a couple of conversations tonight about the conflict in the Middle East, about the state of Israel. You could have a proper argument and conversation about all governments, including Netanyahu's government, Israel. You could criticize some of their policies. You could disagree with Netanyahu as a prime minister, just like Trump, just like Starmer, just like Macron. But being against the ordinary people who live in that country, that creates a bit of a problem. If Spain, the reason I mentioned Spain as a former colony of the Islamic Empire, liberated by the Christian Crusades, if Spain hadn't been receiving the support that they received all those years ago, what do you think this place would have been? Right here. The state of Israel is the only country right now that is still fundamentally a liberal democracy, supposed to be an ally. Criticizing the government of Israel is fine, absolutely fine. But being against the existence of the Jewish people is a different problem. Israel is currently fighting for its survival. The final fight for its survival. The reason I say this is because the last year or so, it seems that Israel is winning, right? Depends what side you're on. But I can tell you, with everything that happened, with the Islamic Republic of Iran, with everything that's been going on the streets of the UK, Canada, partly the US, France, Sweden, this is not just about Israel. It's not even about the Jews. It's partly about the Western civilization, but it's also about the basic concept of our so-called world order that everybody rants about since the 1940s and 50s, right? We're supposed to be allies to liberal democracies. Back when this country was occupied by Islam, when the Christian Crusades happened, that wasn't even about supporting liberal democracies. That was about supporting humanity, ordinary people here. The reason that on paper, the United Nations and NATO say, of course we have to support Ukraine, is because they say, well, they're one of us. Now you can make a few arguments about that. Ukraine is not your haven of liberal democracy either. It's a very corrupt country. But if they really care about a country like Ukraine, what happened to Israel? The reason the fight for survival of Israel matters, it's not for Israel, it's not for Zionists, it's not even for the Jews. You ignore them now, you don't support your allies. Well, what do you expect to happen when you are in trouble? The reason that we are in this mess, last night, a huge number of IDF soldiers were murdered by Hamas terrorists. Now, this is supposed to be the IDF that is supposed to be finishing the job in Gaza. Now, you can still disagree with the Israeli government, absolutely, on so many issues, okay? Those soldiers in Israel, in the IDF. Just like how people had all the sympathy when it came to the American soldiers losing their lives in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and everywhere. And you should. Those people cared about America. They thought they are going to be defending America, and they were sent to a different continent to fight, and they died for America and for freedom for the world. They didn't just die for America. They didn't just die for President Bush or Obama. They died for the world, for humanity. Why is it that when it comes to our ally, Israel, it's not just about them being an ally, it's another liberal democracy. It's also about humanity. Nobody cares. This is a message, is a warning to everybody who's technically seeing their neighbors as allies. The lovely Americans who will still see Canadians as an ally. Obviously, you have your differences with the Canadians, and Canadians, they would say, oh, well, I don't like Trump. Fine. If things happen, both countries will support each other. The French and the British, despite the history, at this point, they're supposed to be supporting each other. If you set an example in the world that a fellow ally that is supposed to be another liberal democracy, you're not going to defend them and you're going to actually completely attack them, well, don't really expect your neighbors to support you anymore when you are in trouble. Israel is not the perfect country. Israel, at times, could be messed up. Their domestic politics, which, by the way, has actually been completely ignored on the international stage for the past year and a half because of the war. Let's not forget, Israel had a big issue internally with the left, with the right. Now, obviously, when you go talk to normal people in Israel, overall, they would still say the same thing, but they would say, we're still together, blah, 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 Israeli flag. Yeah, obviously, they're still together. But they also have normal problems like the rest of the world. But when a normal person in Israel, center-left or center-right, still believe in the flag, Arab, Christian, and Jew, believes in the flag, with the Star of David on the flag, for the love of God. Why is it that the West, the rest of the Western world, not only we have people in France, we have people in Germany, we have people in the UK, if they happen to be left-leaning, they don't even believe in the flag. If they're not going to even support their own ally, what do you think is going to happen? The reason I'm talking about this, it's not a news update, it's my editorial piece. This is the final battle. You think Israel's winning? Sure, let's go with that. Israel is winning battles. Israel has won the battle against Hezbollah, against Hamas. They are finishing the operation in Gaza. They've also essentially won in Syria against the IRGC Shia militias. But this is where complacency happens. The rest of the international community completely abandoned Israel. Again, it's not even about me defending Israel. It's not even about Israel. It's not even about, as I said, the Jews. It's about the rest of the world. If you really care about your country, if you really care about the values that I believe in, your liberal democracies, your freedoms, your individual liberties, your patriotism, then why would you have double standards? And I'm talking about certain obvious people. Your Candace Owenses, your Tucker Carlsons, the people who until recently claimed to be America first. They're not, obviously they're not. We know that. Now we know. Their supporters, who I still believe, they believe that they are not just America first, they are pro-West, right? If they genuinely think that they are the only ones who care about humanity because they're against genocide, because they are against the genocide in Gaza. Okay, to this day, right now, it's currently Tuesday, the 8th of July. Why is it that Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and none of their supporters to this day, Greta Thunberg, all three of them, have said nothing, absolutely nothing about genocide in Nigeria, South Africa, Congo, Sudan, Yemen, China with the Uyghurs? Why is it that they suddenly care about genocide when it comes to Gaza, which, by the way, for the record, is the most incompetent genocide program ever. It's been going on for a year and a half. Well, apparently, according to the Islamists, it's been going on since 1948, or at least since 2005, 2006. Gaza, which is smaller than my bedroom, still increasing its population. Well, clearly the Jews, who control the world, are not very good at doing genocide, are they? Jews are incompetent, right? Apparently the Jews control the US government, the Jews control the the UK government. And people have a problem with that. Quite interesting, right? When you listen to people who say that the Jews control the UK government, and you're saying, well, firstly, the UK government that continues to support the IRGC, by the way. Why is it that the Israelis, if they are controlling the Western governments, what is the issue with the people who say that? Are they actually concerned about the Jews controlling the West? No. Let's just pretend that it's true. They are jealous. I'm just saying. Just saying, if it's true, they are jealous. We live in a world where nations and tribes either want to be an empire or are empires. We live under the American empire, whether you like it or not. There are people who say the Jews control the West. The reality is, they're jealous because they can't. They're jealous. They have problems in their own lives and they want to blame somebody. They want to shift the blame on another group. And I'm not even saying, oh, all the Jews control the UK government or the US government. Let's just pretend they all do. Firstly, they can't even control Israel. I have actually heard recently a new conspiracy theory that the Jews control the Israeli government. That is a big one, right? They're not really that good at it. The Israeli government continues to have a lot of issues when it comes to policies. Not just internally in terms of Israel, but also their neighbors. They're not very good at wiping out Gaza. If they are very good at controlling everything, why is it that nothing works for themselves? The Jews are supposed to be doing better. The Islamic side continue to grow their population. The Jewish population is not growing that much. The Jewish territory is shrinking. The Islamic territory is increasing. It's not even about Islam or the Jews. This is a perfect example of what we are dealing with. What we are dealing with right now in the world is a bunch of spoiled middle class, entitled, self-entitled idiots like Candace Owens, Kanye West, Jackson Hinkle, Tucker Carlson, growing up in the West, loving it. Maybe they had some issues with their dads. Maybe they had some issues with their mums. Now they think they know everything. Now they think they can tell people in Iran what Iran is supposed to be. They can tell people in the Palestinian territory what it's supposed to be. They are trying to lecture me about the history of the Middle East. Tucker Carlson is probably going to go to Tehran soon, go to a supermarket and show the world, oh, look at it, their supermarkets, they have fridges. This is the biggest fight, not just for Israel, for the rest of the world. Usually on this channel, I do obviously the news reports. This is my editorial piece. I'm going to repeat it. It's not even about Israel. It's not even about the Jews. You ignore that. You're not just ignoring your ally. You're ignoring your own people. Tomorrow, if the Canadians need help, what are you going to do? You're not going to help them because you didn't help a fellow liberal democracy. Right now, poor, innocent people in South Africa are getting attacked. No one cares. Why? Because it's already happening. Double standards. Anybody that tells you the people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Jackson Hinkle, all these usual idiots, they are morally superior. They are the only ones that care. Tell them, did you speak out when it came to the Uyghurs? Did you speak out when it came to Sudan, Christians in Congo, in Nigeria, white farmers in South Africa? Ordinary, normal, loving, beautiful Canadians under the tyranny of Justin Trudeau and now the clown Carney. I could make all these videos all the time. Some of you have heard this narrative on social media all the time. Some politicians might talk about it. Repeat it. Never stop. Never surrender. Never give up. It will get repetitive. Keep doing it. It's not even about the Jews. The Jews are just the first to go. The rest of us is next. Right now there's a lot of pressure on Israel not to defend itself. What's going to happen next? The Islamic Republic are rallying the troops. They're all over the place right now. They can't control Iran, but they are very good at one thing: destruction. They're going to throw everything at their enemy, Israel. But of course, the American government, NATO, the UN is saying, chill, everything's fine. It's not fine. This is a fight for survival, not just for Israel, for the rest of us. Thank you so much for watching. On my Tuesday, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of the holiday.